Yensid Organist here, and welcome to another episode of OrgelCraft. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I am dubbing this episode the Great Terraforming Expedition. There is a lot that needs to be done in this area in terms of terraforming. Now, we're not going to do all of the terraforming today, but we are going to do a decent amount, and we are going to plan a lot of stuff for future work, because it's something that I definitely want to be thinking about as we go forward. So let's just kind of have a brief overview of everything that needs to be done, and then we'll look at what we are actually going to start working on in this episode. First things first, we need to build up a foundation for around the castle. Essentially, this whole thing sits on an island. We have done a little bit of work down here, but we need to be able to have that go all the way around. Obviously, we need to clean up the town side of the terraforming. It's kind of just sitting there for right now. We have Windmill, I think it's called Windmill Way, but essentially leading off of Hill Street, there's a road that winds through the hillside up here, and there are various houses and farms and things like that dotted along there. The harbor, I think I've mentioned before, has another side to it. So we have, this area here, but it actually wraps around out this way, and then there are more houses built like in the harbor, and then up onto the hillside over here. So that is going to have to get built up. We need an entrance to the harbor, which is going to come off of the end of the castle here. So the wall kind of extends. There's an entryway into the harbor, and then it picks up over here. So that is probably going to loop all the way back around to our harbor area over there. And I just ran out of rockets. Yeah, and then, of course, the biggest project is going to be the mountains. So they are going to stretch all the way around over here. I'm hoping to be able to use what's already here, although I think I'm going to need to build it up more. And then it comes all the way around the castle out to the other side and basically fills in the fjord. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to make it up here. Nope. That's okay. We can go here. But yeah, so like kind of along the lines of where you see that shipwreck out there, we have mountains that are going to curve around and then head out into open ocean. So yeah, so lots of work that needs to be done to get... I don't have my ender chest on me. Well, that's not helpful. I think I have one in front of the castle. Has my dripstone grown? It has not. Yeah, but so what we're going to be doing in this, we're going to be doing some terraforming in this episode, but we're also just going to be doing a little bit of, laying out of where things need to go in the future. Oh, good, I do have an ender chest here. All right, that can go back in there. So yeah, that's what I want to work on in this episode. Be ready for lots of time lapses, because these are some big projects that need to do, and I think it would be fun to watch, kind of watch the progress as we go along. Also, that island needs to come down, so that's probably going to go as well. I'm really hoping that the replay mod gets released this week, so that we can have more than just a static shot, but that'll work as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do, since we're going to be terraforming around the base of this, is I'm going to go ahead and remove all this coral. I have set up a bunch of conduits out here so that I can get this done a little bit easier. So I'm going to get to work on that, and then I will bring you guys back when I am ready to start I was going to say building. Terraforming, yes. Okay, So I just discovered something that I think is really, really creepy. And I've bumped my volume. Let's see if you can hear it. Do you hear that? It has a heartbeat. I did not know. I guess it's made from a heart of the sea, but it is truly a beating heart. And that is a creepy, creepy sound. Learn something new every day, right? Anyway, yeah, back to clearing. Welcome back, everyone. A large portion of the coral reef has been removed. I haven't removed all of it. That was never my plan for this last little bit. But, yeah, the island that was down here is gone. This platform is about to disappear once I finish this little segment. I didn't take these islands out just because I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm doing. They do have to go, but I was getting a little tired of tearing down mountains. So, yeah, so if we come around here, coral reef is completely gone from this side. I tore down this island over here and worked a little bit of the underwater so that it hopefully blends in with natural Minecraft terrain. Yeah, this is all good to go. All of my copper has fully oxidized, yay. And I've been running the dripstone farm, which I discovered I actually built wrong. Yeah, it only grows when it's on dripstone, and I had it on just regular stone. So, fixed that up, and we've now got 3 rows of this growing. It's very, very slow, but, you know, we're making progress. So, yeah. Really quick, while I'm thinking about it, because this was from several episodes ago, I wanted to see how these stairs looked compared to the prismarine. So let's put them up as a comparison. These are a lot greener than I thought they were going to be. But let's see. See how it looks. And we can decide from there. So it's 3 blocks in between. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And I think there's one more. 2, 3. Like that. Alright. Comparison? Ooh. Yeah, I actually like these better. The color is very, very similar, but these are just a little bit bolder, and I think they stand out a little bit better. So, yeah, so I think I'm going to replace all of those. Yeah, but that is not for today. That is for another time we will get back to. So I think what I want to work on next is working on the island around the castle. And this needs to go. I don't know why I didn't finish this. So what I want to do is basically go around and outline the place where like the stone actually comes out of the water. So I think that's what I'm gonna do next. I want to be able to do some time-lapse stuff on here, but I don't have a ton of consecutive time to work right now. So I think what I'm going to do is outline everything, just kind of, you know, do a rough outline of what I think I want for this, and then from there I can get to actually doing the terraforming, both underwater and above ground. I'm going to need to move my conduits around a little bit more, and I need to take this pillar down. So yeah, let me get to work on that. I'll bring you guys back in a little bit. Welcome to the top of the world. As you can see, I have done some work getting the outlines of the island. It's a little hard to see because the walls are in the way. I've also added a couple of sections of walls. I just figured it would be a little bit easier to work with having those walls in place. This this nearly broke me here because this was where I was reminded that my scale is off. This section of the wall is supposed to be much longer, but comes just off of the end of Clock Tower Street here. And so I had to do quite a lot of work down there to tweak the design and get it to where I was happy with it. But I think I'm okay with it now. You know, I'm getting better about learning to accept that it's not an exact recreation. It's my interpretation of it. So I am okay with that. I'm not quite sure. There's some tweaking that needs to get done. There's a river that comes through here, and I was thinking of doing it where I added this artificial waterfall here, but that might have to be adjusted a little bit. That's not something we're going to be doing today, but something for planning for the future. So the next part of this plan is to build up the island, both the stuff that's above the water and below. I don't know how long this is going to take, but let's go ahead and jump into our first time lapse. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the time lapse. I'm about to say something that I thought I would never say. I'm out of stone. This is all that I have left to my name here. I've not actually run out of stone. I have plenty of stores. It's just that I have none of it here. Now, let me put that in perspective. This is all the resources that I gathered from carving out the area where the town is now. If you remember all the way back to the beginning of the season. I don't remember exactly where the land mass was, but essentially we carved out a massive area in here. And I condensed it to all of these chests over here. So I got dirt here, I have dirt here, and I have grass in this column. All of the rest of this, 1, 2, 3, 4.5 columns of chests. What is that, 18? Yeah, 18 double chests of stone. Now, I've been pulling some out as I go for other projects around there. But yeah, completely out over here. So I am going to have to get more resources before we will be able to continue this project. And maybe you believe it based on how much stone we actually put down here, but yeah, I couldn't believe that I had actually run out. So let's talk a little bit about this project. Take a guess at how much footage went into that time lapse. What do you think? 2, 3, 4 hours? 6 hours and 45 minutes. And we didn't do the top side, and we still have this entire side of the castle left to do. Now, I will say, I did develop a little bit of a system, and you probably saw that in the time lapse. This is the first time I've done this kind of terraforming on a large scale. But I found that breaking it up into sections, both, if we can get in here. So both by, like, drawing a line from the bottom to the top, but then also to kind of, outline, like halfway points, or, third of the way, 2/3 of the way up. I thought it was really, really helpful in getting some nice shapes, and I'm really, really happy with how all of this turned out. Now, I haven't done any really kind of detailing on this. It's only stone, there's no slabs, there's no stairs, and honestly, I'm probably going to leave it there. This is not an area that we're going to be spending any kind of time in. This is really all for aesthetics. And so, since I'm not planning to have anything under the water line here, I think we're just going to leave it this way. It looks really nice from above the water, and I don't think it's worth the time or materials to actually go in and, do any kind of, block variation and things like that. I think this is how I want that. As you can see, I also went ahead and added this wall and tower here. It was kind of important for getting the end. This whole thing is going to need to come out later. Yeah, and obviously we still have the above ground working. I need to switch my elytra out here. I've also lost my ender chest. I left it up there. I think there might be one in the courtyard. So let's talk about what we have to do to finish this off. And I have a little bit of a conundrum because that was what I needed. Because this is not enchanted. No, but this one is. I'll have to remember to take that and repair it. So the outside of the castle walls, there are all these gigantic boulders, and one of the problems that I am having, so let's land over here where I've actually done some of these boulders, is they're all like stacked right on top of one another, and if you're only using one kind of stone, it's really hard to highlight like where one ends and where another one begins without it just becoming a blob. Now, these are going to get detailed. I'm going to work some andesite and some gravel into them and some slabs and stairs. This is just, trying to get kind of a rough outline going. I also want to work some moss in here, and I'm thinking that I might actually want to replace these with custom trees. I put them here as placeholders, and you probably saw that I tore a couple of them down because I wasn't happy with their shape. I think that I might want to do custom, so that's where we're going to leave that for now. Also, this is going off into what's going to become the mountains, and it's going to need to be determined by what happens with the wall that's going to curve out here and go up around the town. So that's something we'll have to work on. One thing that I was planning to do before I actually had to cut the time-lapse short because I ran out of stone was I wanted to try some different possibilities with blocks. So I've got some smooth basalt here. I've got some regular basalt. I've got some tough. I have deep slate. I have a little bit of cobbled deep slate, which I don't think is going to work, and that is that. So I'm kind of curious, and so I thought... since I'm now limited in what I can do based on the fact that I don't have the resources to finish, like I said here, I can go and get them, but I'm feeling lazy at the moment. I'm also starting to run a little bit short on time. I only have 1 day left to work on recording, and I have a couple other things I want to get to. But let's play around with this just a little bit, and I'm kind of curious. So this is our smooth basalt, okay, which I think only has 1 texture? Yes. Okay. So I'm kind of curious if we build up some random boulders here. Let's just do a little of this. Yeah, we'll go like that. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Let's now do... I'm just going to make a bunch of these. So let's do... I don't know that basalt's going to work because it has 2 different textures, but maybe. We'll have to see. Polished would definitely not work because it's got too clean of a line on it. You know, but if we do something like that, maybe. It's not bad, but it does have these lines to it, so you'd probably want to come in here and do something like that. That might break the lines up a little bit, enough to give it, you know, some natural... That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. A little bit harder to do. Let's build up another one with tough here. And we'll just do like this. I do have to say, I really enjoyed this. For as long as it took to do all of that work, it was quite fun. Gets a little tedious after a while. I did most of that in... usually around like 45 minutes to an hour. I have a couple longer sessions than that. I think the tough looks too busy. What do we got? So we got deep slate. So let's put some of that here. Now the deep slate is nice because it does have both the side and the top texture. Let's make this one a little bit more steep. And we'll go like that. And then let's bring a little bit up here. Now, all of these are facing the same way, so we're going to need to go through and break that up like we did with the basalt. Yeah, I think kind of like the tough, I think that's going to be too busy. What else did I have? The cobbled deep slate, I think that's going to be a no. Yeah, this texture is just way, way too busy. Yeah, okay, so I think that was all that I was looking at. So, taking a look at these up close, cobbled deep slate, really busy. Deep slate, pretty busy. Tough is too busy. There's too much contrast in these lines that are going through here. You know, you have the nice light, but then you have these greenish lines, you have this gray. It's a nice block, and I think in places it works really well, but by itself, it doesn't work well. I'm really surprised with the basalt. I actually think this looks pretty nice. You get a little bit of variation. I want to try, let's do this so we have that on there. It gets a little busy with that, but it's not bad. And the smooth basalt, you know, it would be great if it wasn't for this little bit right here. It's just too dark in there. The other one I think is okay, but that one... it's just too much there. So, okay. So, that's up close. However, not going to be looking at too much of this from up close. So, let's go from a distance and take a look at it. Okay. So, yeah. Loving my basalt here. This one, not so much. The tough actually gets better when you move farther away. I don't have enough on the cobbled deep slate, but I don't like the deep slate from what I can see. Now... The next problem with this is, so if we were to go with basalt for some of the boulders, the problem with that is I think that the contrast between stone and the basalt, I think it's going to be too great, because I think that the stone is just too much lighter than the basalt, and I don't know that it's hard to find a darker color in here, because andesite tends to be a little bit lighter, and any other variant you have is a completely different color. So yeah, up close they're very drastic. Let's fly over here though. Yeah, I don't know. I wish there was another gradient in here, and maybe I'll have to dig around in creative and just see what block palettes we have. But like I said, these are just too busy. And any of the variants on the cobbled deep slate are going to be too they're going to be too much of a man-made texture, and that's not going to work. So I am not sure what the answer is. I would definitely be interested to hear your thoughts on this, because obviously, these boulders are a large portion of this island that we need to build up. So, I want to make sure that it looks good. So I think that's it for this part of the project for today. Because like I said, I do have other things that I want to work on, and yeah, I'm gonna need to gather more resources and ferry more resources over here. Although something that we're gonna work on a little bit later in this episode will get me a lot more stone over here without me having to go get it. I need to clear these islands here too, so that would be probably a good source. I did have shulker boxes over here, but I think I cleaned them out. I did. I took them away. Okay, so now that we've spent a long time building up terrain, let's go take a look at the progress I have been making in tearing down terrain in the Nether. Welcome back to the Nether, future home of Elsa's Ice Palace. And as you can see, quite a lot has been cleared out. This is a little contraption I was using to be able to keep all my resources together as I was tearing things down. It's a shulker box loader. So, yeah. So everything that's been here has been cleared by hand. And as you may have seen in a previous episode, I have so much basalt back in my bulk storage facility that I needed to start an area below ground to hold it all, and Blackstone is getting close. I'm getting to the point where, one, this is taking a long time, and two, I'm not nearly as concerned about getting the resources. I'm having a really hard time landing on this platform, and I missed again. Well, that's not going to work. Can I get... No, I cannot. Okay. So I think it is time to take a little bit more explosive approach to clearing out this area of the Nether, shall we say. So that is what I'm planning to do. I don't know if I will clear all of it this way, but I think definitely with how... that's not gonna fire. I'm glad I walked over here. Yeah, with how much I have left to do, and with the plans that I have for this area, I want to make sure I get all this cleaned out. I've basically divided it up into 16 chunks. We've removed, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 so far. So only half of it, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So, okay, so we've removed half of it so far. Yeah, so I have my work cut out for me. So this is, as you can see, I have a little bit of a TNT dispensary set up here to be able to rip this out. And I did a little bit of testing in creative as to the best possible placing so that you don't miss any blocks or miss as few blocks in between. And I found that 4 blocks between dispensers is just about perfect without having too much left over. So I've got all this loaded up. Let's go ahead and do that. And I hope I dug down far enough. Looks like it. Okay. I'm also happy to see all of the magma cubes be blown to bits because they have become the bane of my existence working in this area. So that is that. So I had a little bit more that I planned to do in this episode, but I did not realize just how far in we were after I saw my recording time after the last clip. I did have one other thing that I wanted to do. However, today is the 4th of July, and I've been spending a lot of time playing Minecraft this past week, trying to get this episode done, and I would like to be able to enjoy a little bit of time today. Plus, I haven't been having the greatest day either. So, I think we're going to end off here, but as it is 4th of July, Independence Day in the United States of America, we are going to end with a little fireworks show of our own, and we are going to blast this section of the Nether out. So here we go. And there we have it. Didn't quite have enough TNT. 7 stacks was not enough, apparently. But yeah, went ahead and it didn't take nearly as long to go through and clear the rest out. I'll have to make sure I adjust my positioning just a little bit when I do this for the remaining areas in here. But there we go. More than halfway cleared out, so that's pretty exciting. And a good way to finish this off. But guys, I think that is going to do it for this episode. We got quite a lot accomplished. I feel like the castle is no longer floating. We won't talk about the fact that there's nothing underneath, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm really happy with the progress we've made. I'm excited to do more work on this, and the project I didn't get to, we'll just have to save for another episode. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to subscribe and make sure you click that little notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my latest posts. Be sure to follow me on social media. Thanks for watching. See you real soon.